Hello, Sunday the 23rd, and we have a relaxing, no chaturanga, hips and hamstrings. You can skip to the class now if you don't want my little bit of chat. I want you to comment down below, let me know how you're feeling, let me know after this class how you feel through those areas. Did it really help? And will it be useful for you later in the year? Maybe if you're a cyclist or a runner, this is going to be great for you. We're going to start seated. You're going to let your legs go out to the top of the mat. I hope you enjoy this class. I did. I will say that you need to focus on the breath. There's big gaps where we hold poses. I fill those gaps with talking, which I don't struggle to do, but maybe we should have those higher paced classes for me and the relaxed ones for Maddie. Either way, we're going to turn to the front, let your legs go out long, and I'll see you on the other side of this. So we're sitting in the middle of the mat. Sunday the 23rd. We're going to have no chaturangas today, and you can add them in if you'd like. Just going to relax, we're going to stretch our hamstrings, and we're going to start though by rolling our ankles out. Just letting them point through the toes, draw the toes back towards you, and all the way around, making them as big and slow as you can. Feeling all the way through that circle, how the ankle rolls, and each little bit of the ankle is working just to roll that round. Keeping that moving. Maybe do a couple more in that direction, and then just switch. It feels a little weird to go the way that's not your normal or not your kind of habit or habitual way to go around. So there's the way we're drawn to, the way we try to avoid, and we're going to go the other way. And bringing our legs back together after rolling our ankles out, just give the legs a little shake. And then we're going to bring our hands down by our hips, and we're going to bend through the knees, and we're just going to start by dropping the knees over to the left. And you feel that through, for me, very tight through my right hip, both knees dropping out wide. I'm going to come back up to centre, and then we drop our knees over to the other side, which is actually our right now, or left, depends where you go. And on the right, you get there with me now, we're going to come up to centre. It's Sunday, and I'm tired, and we're going to go over to the left, dropping our knees down. Feeling that through that outer hip as it drops down, so knees are on the side, bringing it up through centre. Rolling them over to the right. We all deserve to take this stretch. In fact, if you're into walking or cycling or running, it's going to be a good class to come back to, and probably stretch out those hips and hamstrings like we said. Dropping our knees over the other way, over to our left. Just feeling tight in those hips. I've been walking today, actually. Me and Madeline went up, I think it's called Sergeant Man, dropping them the other way, over from Grasmere. It's snowy and blizzardy. And I'm tight today, so that explains why I am tight, but hips do carry that tension. Dropping them to the left. We're going to bring them back up to centre. We're going to bring our feet in, crossing our legs, and we're going to just plant the hands, roll forward, find that tabletop position. Knees under the hips, hands under the shoulders, a nice kind of tight core. And then we're going to just take some cat-cows. At first we drop our belly, open the chest, look forward, and round the back, so lifting that belly. Imagine just the belly dropping up and down. Inhale, the belly drops, we look forward. And exhale, round the back, tucking the tail back. Inhale, look forward. And exhale, round the back. One more of each. Inhale, we go forward, the belly drops. And exhale, rounding that back. From here, we tuck our toes, we lift our hips, we find downward dog. Then we're going to walk through the heels, but I want you to think about dropping the right heel back, and then we're going to bend through the left knee. So it's like a little side stretch almost. So the left knee bends in, our right heel pushes back when the heel drops, and then switch to the side, so the left heel drops over towards the right, but flat on the floor. We bend that right knee in. So it's kind of like a little wiggle. And we're just going to go side to side there. So almost like a walkout, but feeling that side body feeling through the outer hip. And just stretch through at your pace, whatever works for you. Dropping one heel, bending through the other knee, and vice versa the other way. Bringing back to centre. Little shake out through the hips. Feeling that body stretching out, shoulders relaxed, fingertips spread out. Inhale, right leg lifts. And then exhale, right foot through between the hands. And we're going to just straight away lower our left knee. You can untuck those back toes. And we're going to bring ourselves up nice and tall. We can start with these hands on our right leg, so our right thigh, both hands. I want to feel like it's kind of like this zipping up a jacket feeling, so up nice and tall, from the bottom through the middle, and then out through the crown of the head again, but nice and tall. It lengthens through our side body. I'm just going to hold here, so it's that left hip we're hitting now, starting through the front, through the hip flexor or the psoas muscle. The two of them getting that stretch through the front, and underneath slightly through that right hip as we drop down. Keeping those hands on our right thigh, keeping nice and tall as we breathe in, and we breathe out. And if we want to go a little further, that left hand can come up. Feel how it lengthens that left hand side of the body. And if you'd like, both hands can come up. And just hold here for another breath in. And a breath out. A much slower class today, especially some of the ones I taught. A little hotter and warmer, but it's nice to take this time and just take a deeper stretch into some of these joints, these muscle tissues, and really work the body out. Inhale here. And then exhale, we're going to come down, bringing our arms down inside the leg. And we're going to let the right foot flex, and we're going to let the right knee just drop out wide. So keeping the blade of the right foot on the mat, and bring that right hand to the right thigh. So we're still having that left hip flexor stretch, and we're starting to push our right hip open. From the thigh, almost the knee, feeling it open. This is where you'll stay, this is the option. Or we're going to turn towards the back, and we're going to bend our left knee, bringing our heel towards our butt. I am very, very tight, and we're going to take this right arm behind us. I'm going to hold that foot. Good God. Hitting that left hip flexor goes now down into the entire left quadricep. So that top of our left leg, our thigh, being really turned on. So again, like we said, if you've been hiking or cycling or something, that's one of those things you're into. You're going to use a lot of that muscle, a lot of the power created for pushing up or pushing down. Coming through that muscle, stretching out here. Feeling it through our right hip as we let that foot keep flexing and the right knee dropping open. We've got that lovely twist through the spine, focusing in on our breath, breathing in and breathing out. And I'm not cueing the breath as much because we're taking time here with some of these poses, but after kind of 3 weeks of practicing now, you should be finding your breath, that nice nasal breath in, and that warm breath out through the nose. And keep that going all the way through this class. Keep that as your focus as you hold these stretches. And as we find some tension, like for me here, I've got that left quad. Breathe in and then breathe into that stretch to hold and give it time to open and release. Inhale here. Then exhale, we slowly let that back foot go. Everybody comes back around, bringing the foot flat, framing the foot. We're going to slide the right leg straight, so our hips pull back. And we're going to find ourselves in that half split pose. So we've done the hip, and now we do the hamstring as promised. We're going to fold over the leg. We keep our feet active, to the right toes flexed, drawing towards the shin or towards the body. If you've got blocks, it's very nice to support yourself here. You can bring yourself up a little higher. And you keep your hands on the floor. As we breathe in, we breathe through the nose. We want to lengthen the body out and then fold on the exhale, trying to find that deeper stretch. And some of you have probably done a lot more yoga than I have this month. You might want to just let that leg go out long. You can take the leg back a little bit. If you're ready for split early, you can. Or just take that back knee back a little bit. As you can see, I'm not in split, but I'm just giving myself a bit more through the left hand thigh or quad and into that right hamstring. Just a little more. Staying here, breathing in and breathing out. Takes time for all these to open. So we've got to be patient. Sometimes in vinyasa we flow through these classes, we build heat, we take some deeper stretches at the end, and sometimes you've got to come and put the work in to build a deeper mobility to your practice rather than just the movement and the flow. Inhale here and exhale. Now wherever you are, you're going to find a little bit of ease. Maybe that comes out of split slightly. You're going to ground through that foot. And you're going to plant the hands. If you want a vinyasa here, you can take it. Otherwise, for this chilled Sunday flow, we're going to step straight back to downward dog. And we're going to just walk our heels up and down, dropping them like we did. Just that little twist, little side-to-side action through the hips. Just giving it a bit of a wiggle. I always like to think when we're stretching into these muscles, when you really take time to get in. If you imagine putting like the garden hose on and flowing the water, and it's flying out the end of the hose, and then you turn that kink in the hose pipe, and it stops the flow of water even though the tap's on. We've all done that, I'm sure. And just walking these hips out as we're here. I'm chatting away. You're going to inhale, left leg lifts, and as you stop that water flowing with that kink, that's like taking the stretch. And then exhale, left foot through between the hands, so just mirror the other side, dropping the right knee. And then when you untake that little kink out the hose, inhale, lift it up, hands on the left thigh, back toes open. The water carries on flowing, and that's like coming out of those deeper stretches, like pigeon or that splits then. You feel the blood rush back into the muscles. You feel a little bit of a tingle tension, you've got to wiggle out and work through it. That zipping up sensation through the front, breathe in, lengthen up, hands on the thigh, just for a bit of support. And feel the side body lengthen, crown of the head going long. Deep breath in. And exhale to stay. So now hitting that right hand side through the hip flexors. Staying here with an inhale. And an exhale. Breathing in. And breathing out. I feel even my knees are sore today after walking. Inhale. If you'd like a bit more, you can take the right arm up. Exhaling, taking that stretch up through the right hand side of your body. You can take both hands up. Inhaling, reach tall. Exhaling. Take one more stretch here, breathing in, lengthen. And exhale, both hands come back down inside that foot. And we're going to bridge or activate the foot, lifting the toes. We roll onto the blade of the foot. Right hand under right shoulder, left hand comes up onto that thigh. And use a gentle push away. You're not trying to push it all the way open, just find probably a 60%. If you're pushing it to the point that it's really hard to hold this pose, let's call that 100. And let's call, I'm challenging myself 80. This feels like I'm really in the stretch. I want you to come back a little bit. Let's get to 60% where you're actually comfortable to hold here. And we're going to get deeper into the pose the longer we stay here and open up. Keep the focus on the breath, breathe in. And breathe out. Inhale. And exhale. And for all those people that want to go further, you're going to bend that back right knee, bringing the right ankle towards the butt. Again, I'm very tired. Left hand goes behind. I'm sure that makes you all feel better. I might look flexible, and actually I don't look flexible compared to Madeline, but this is maybe a bit more than 60, so I should listen to myself, and that is hard to do because we all want to go a little bit deeper, or an extra chaturanga, or push ourselves a little bit harder, or I do at least, but letting the back foot kind of kick away, feel that much more intense stretch through the thighs, so it goes from the hip flexor into the whole quad, keeping that left knee dropping open, inhaling here, and exhaling. Dropping my neck open, you could roll it around, just take the time here to find out or work into any kinks that you find, these little tight spots in the body. When you find them, just stay in that tightness and then breathe in. And breathe out. Last breath here. And exhale, we're going to let go of that foot. We're going to come all around, flattening the left foot, hands plant, and we're going to slide the hips back, stretching into that left hamstring. So right away, we breathe in, we lengthen the body. And exhale, we fold, and we fold out long. If we're trying to take the nose out past the knee, and then we fold down before we tuck the chin. Obviously, you can find a much nicer stretch if you're tight in your hamstrings, or even if you want to work on going further into splits and it's not something you're comfortable with, you can get your blocks, you can find some assistance a little higher up, and you can work through that pose with some support from the ground rather than having to be completely folded in here. You have to listen to your body and find what works best, especially when we're on YouTube rather than in the class. Inhale here. Those people that want a little bit more, maybe that left foot goes out longer, maybe the right knee drops back a little, maybe you're in full splits already. Hold in here. Inhaling and exhale. Inhale and exhale. This time we start to come out of this stretch. A little awkward if you've gone a bit deeper. Find some support to come forward, planting that foot. Again, the option for that vinyasa, or you can step straight back into our downward dog, and straight away you feel that sensation maybe through the hips, and we want to just take that little wiggle out. Just work in some room and let it all flow and kind of work into the body. Inhale here. And then exhale, bend the knees, look forward. We're going to just step towards the top between the hands. Forward fold. I'm going to hang out a little bit. Take one hand onto the other elbow. And vice versa, that little window around the head. Say yes with the head, shake your head, or nod your head. And then shake your head no, releasing that tension through the shoulders. And then bring our feet together. And we're going to sit into our chair pose. Nice for the hips, squeezing the glutes. Arms go high. And then exhale, stand tall. Hands to heart. Shoulders roll up and back, hands still at the heart. Inhale here. And then exhale, we're just going to step the right foot to the back of the mat. And we're going to turn so we face the way our toes want to point. So over towards that right hand side. And straight away we're going to turn our right foot to face forward, or now back, at the back of the room, or whichever way, might be the side of your room, but the back of our mat. We're going to go into triangle pose, so we're going to let the hips slightly slide back, our right arm reach out towards the back of our mat, and we're going to lower down into that trikonasana, that triangle pose. One of my favourite words in yoga. Stacking the wrist, shoulder, shoulder, wrist in one line, top to bottom. And feeling those hips roll open. So the right hip pushing under and the left hip squeezes that glute and use that glute to pull the left hip back. We're trying to open in every direction. That's what it feels like. The arms exploding top and bottom. The feet trying to rip out. And imagine you've got that much tension in your feet. At first you're trying to rip the mat. And that gets created by trying to stretch into those hips. Inhale here. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And then we come back up, all the way back up. Again, this is an easy Sunday class. Again, taking a bit of time. We're going to flip the feet so the right foot at the back goes parallel with the short side. And we turn back to our more natural, more comfortable top of the mat. Left foot now out in front. Just going through these couple of standing poses that work through the hips and the hamstrings. Arms out wide. Hips go back. We lean out as far as possible. And then we find our triangle pose. Opening the shoulders. Right arm to the sky. Stacking wrist, shoulder, shoulder, wrist. I don't know who said it, but imagine 2 panes of glass either side of the body, and we cannot smash or touch either side. We're stuck between 2 panes of glass. That's how the body wants to feel, completely centered over that line we've drawn between the 2 feet. Arms open, stacked on top of each other, hips opening. Inhale here, and exhale. Inhale. And then to come out, as we exhale, we're going to keep the feet as they are, and we're going to bring our right hand down to the floor, left hand down to the floor, and we take a small step, and I mean a small step, towards the front with our back foot, and we let the toes turn out 45 degrees off the side. So we find ourselves in our pyramid pose. Inhale, flatten the back, and then exhale, we fold, getting into that left hamstring. Head goes heavy, a little shaky, because I like to sit tight. Stretching that left hip back, nose is folding down to the knee. Inhale, and exhale. And we'll look towards the top. And we're just going to switch our feet. So we're going to step the feet together, and then the left foot goes back, landing where the right foot was, 45 degrees off the left hand side. Inhale, flatten the back, then exhale, we fold down. Again, now that right hamstring, we're pulling it back from the hip. Imagine almost like a fish hook in that right hip, and it's pulling the hip back. And we're folding over the right leg. Inhale here, and exhale to stay. This time we come back up, and we're going to turn all the way around, this time to the other way, the left hand side, our toes turn, what feels the more natural side, and it will be right. And hands on the hips, soft bend in the knees, and we're just going to stand up, or in this straddled stance. Maybe take the feet a little wider than they were. Inhale here, and again we're going to fold, exhaling down, hands to the mat, head is heavy. You're just going to take that kind of double or both leg stretch, this straddled forward fold. If you want your hands on your wrists and a bit of active arms to just take that stretch deeper, or the hands can go through behind you. You can use your arms just to tuck in a little bit more. And my head is miles from the floor. You'll see some people with their head on the mat. Interesting to see where you get to. It's a really good judge of how strong those hamstrings might be or how tight they might be. Inhale, walk back up. Then we're going to rotate around to the front, stepping up to the top. Inhale, halfway left. Exhale, fold. Inhale, roll to standing, arms go up. And exhale, hands to heart. From here, we're just going to sit down all the way down, onto the mat, onto our butt, and roll onto our backs. I'm going to take our left knee, keep it as it is, bent, facing the ceiling, foot planted. We're going to bring our right leg up straight. We're going to take a hold just behind the right leg, holding that leg. If this is absolutely fine for you, you can let the left leg go out long. You can feel a bit of a deeper stretch, whichever one you prefer. Take your hands up to that calf. You probably prepared those hamstrings, lengthen them over the last 20 minutes, ready for a deeper stretch here. Inhaling and exhaling, stretching that in. If you want to go to the toes, hold the toes, have the leg out long, really get into this. God, muscles are shaky today. How funny. Hopefully you're all feeling great after 23 days of yoga. Kudos to you, it's pretty impressive being that disciplined to keep the classes going. It's hard work, you really, really deserve the praise. To be proud of yourselves, keep going. Only 8 days left, or 7 days left. Inhale here, and we're going to let that leg go. Hopefully that knee is still bent, or you bring it back in, and we're going to just cross the ankle over the knee. Hamstrings and hips, that was the theme. We take this last final hip stretch on this side before we finish with the left leg, and then we're done. Interlace those hands through. We've got that reclined pigeon or reclined figure four position. Right knee pushing forward, hands on the back of the thigh or on top of the shin. Inhale here, and exhale to stay. That final hip stretch. Inhaling, and exhaling. Inhaling, and exhaling. Last breath in, and exhale, let that left foot come to the floor. Uncross the right ankle, plant the foot to match the left, and then lift the left knee or left leg up. So again, that hamstring stretch, we start around the back of the quad or on our hamstring, holding the hamstring, drawing the knee down towards us. Keeping our shoulders on the floor, we're not trying to reach up and activate the core, but if you'd like a bit of core activation, you can lift up and have that. We're just trying to be relaxed today. Either is fine. If you took those vinyasas, maybe you want it. You can take that deeper, letting the right leg go out long. You can move your hands up slowly towards the calf. You can keep that right knee bent regardless. You're still going to get that nice stretch. Use your breath and slowly work your hands a little further up the leg to deepen the stretch. And if you're ready, you can hold those toes. That's probably the furthest you're going to get. Hooking around there and keeping that right leg out long. Inhale. And exhale. Inhaling. And exhale, bend that right knee if it's not bent already, and we're going to cross the left ankle over the knee. Left knee pushes forward and we draw the right knee in, interlacing behind the thigh or on top of that right shin. Keep the feet active, opening into that left hip, our final stretch. Inhale here. Exhale, stay. Inhale through the nose. Exhale. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, we let go. We're going to let the leg go out long. Lay flat on our backs. Take a couple of minutes of Shavasana. The hips hold a lot of tension. Some people say emotions all in the hips, very complicated. So stretching into all those areas is going to unlock a lot. So just give yourself some time to let all of this settle before we rush off either into your day or into your nice relaxing evening. Or maybe into bed, it is Sunday. Closing the eyes, breathe in. And a big exhale out an open mouth. And then just relax. A couple of minutes, you'll lay in this stillness. And don't question if the video is finished, because I will interrupt. If you want to take longer, please do. Otherwise, just start to deepen the breath. Kind of 20 minutes practice, 2 minute Shavasana is a nice sort of rule. Deepening that breath, stretching out over the head. Pointing the toes. When you're ready, rolling over onto your side. And then coming up to a seat. Cross-legged. Nice, very relaxing. Get tired. Sit up nice and tall. Hands to the heart. Namaste. And if you've made it this far, you've not left a comment, that's you. Fire on down below and let me know if this relaxed you or not, because it really does help us out. Small channel and it makes a big difference. Have a great day.